Hey everybody, welcome to Master That Solo with me, your host, Monzoko. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most shred-tastic solos in heavy metal history, Afterlife by Avenged Sevenfold. Let's take a look. Alright, so before we start talking about this solo, you should know that the song is in drop D. Obviously, this is Avenged Sevenfold. And this solo is very difficult, but my hope here is that if I teach it to you right, you'll understand that you don't have to hit all the notes. As long as you hit the ones at the end of each phrase with the same energy that he's playing it at, it will sound good. But you really just gotta throw yourself at this solo and just see what the fuck happens. Because this is difficult. But it's manageable. It's totally manageable, and you just gotta lock yourself into that flow and just go for it. So, all right, let's start this out. Alrighty, so let's start this out. So the first run of the whole solo is this. So that phrase happens 3 times. He does this 3 times the exact way. So I'll throw tabs up. You'll see tabs here. But what he's doing is 5, 8 on the A. He palm mutes those. And then he moves down. He string skips. This is the only string skip of the entire solo. He string skips from 5, 8 on the A to 5, 7 on the G. He does that as a hammer-on. So get that going over and over. Just practice that. And then the last part is like a hammer-on, pull-off, legato run on the B string. So he's doing... So we're going 5, 6, 8, 6, 5 on the B string, right? And then he goes up to he hits the 7th on the G. Just, he actually hits that. That's not like a legato or anything. You can hear that. So you do that. 5, 6, 8, 6, 5, 7. And then once you hit that 7, you go back to the B and you go 5, 6, 8. So if you get that whole phrase together, that's how it should sound. So, and then at the end of each of those, he does that 3 times. At the end of each of those, he slides up to a note on the B string. So the first time he does it, he slides up to the 15. And then the second time he does it, he slides up to the 17. And then the last time he does it, he slides up to the 20. Alright, so practice that over and over. A little advice on the slide. When you're doing the slide, don't look at what's happening when you're doing shit on this hand, this legato stuff. Don't look at that. You want to practice this to the point where you don't have to look at it. I know it seems annoying and tedious, but it'll help a lot in the long run. Because if you look at the note you're sliding to, your fingers will just naturally slide there. If you get caught looking at the phrase that you're doing here, you're not going to be able to slide properly. So get those slide notes down. Again, 15 on the B, 17 on the B, and then 20 on the B. And then we're going to go into this whole crazy legato phrase, which we will go over now. Alright, so if you ask me, this part of the solo is the hardest part, honestly. Like, the sweeps seem really crazy, and we'll get into that. But this part of the solo, if you watch Sinister Gates play it live, he'll just, towards the end of it, he'll do some random slide shit. Like, he'll just start doing shit. And you can tell that he take this in the studio multiple times. And he just kind of went with the one that sounded best. I think he just saw this run, this legato, really slick run, and was like, I'm going to do that. And he taked it over and over. And the one that we hear on the recording is one that he doesn't even play accurately live to this day, because it's really fucking hard. So, sorry to kind of deter you off the bat, but I'm going to teach you how to play it right, and hopefully I'll make it not as difficult as a lot of the tutorials on YouTube show. So let's get into it. So we start out this part sliding from 8 on the E to 13 on the E. So we're going right. So we're doing that first. That's how you hear that, like when the part of the solo starts, it's a 6 slide. You hear this part. So like get this part down. This is important. So you're doing, and then you're going down the D minor scale on the E string, pretty much. So you're going. So what I'm doing is, after the slide, I'm going to 6 on the E, then 5, then back up. So, and then move down a string and play those exact same frets. You're gonna go down also, and then go back up. So what we have right now is, and then we're gonna go back down to the high E string, okay? And this part gets a little confusing. We're gonna do a pull off from 8 to 5, and then go up, right? So pull off 8 to 5, and then hammer on 6, 8, right? So what we have right now is, right? So that's the whole phrase. So we'll separate that as like the first half. This is the first half. So the most important part of this part to get is the slide. And to be honest, you can just legato whatever you want here in this area. Right? In the like 8-6-5 area, you can legato whatever you want. Just get the slide down and get it up to speed too. The most important part of this is speed. If you look at like a lot of YouTube covers, there are a few awesome ones, but a lot of like the bargain bin YouTube covers, people are just like really trying to hit the exact notes he's trying to hit, and it doesn't mesh with their play style well. So it just sounds slow and very off. You also got to take into account that Sinister Gates has, like, in the recording studio, he has like one of the sickest axes. His guitar has like those pickups that he can sustain anything on. And if you watch the video of the making of this song, he has a cloth tied up here too, so he can just legato all this and not have to pick any of it. So if you want to get a sound that's close to what he's doing, you're not going to be able to legato everything and have it sound perfect, because his rig is just so tuned to this type of playing that when he plays this, it's fucking awesome. But if you're just like me and you just have a guitar at home and a single amp, playing this becomes a little bit more difficult because you don't have all these $1,000 pieces of gear. So, all right, well, let's get into part 2. So what we have right now is, right? So he's playing that quick. But as I said, you can legato whatever you want, just in that area, in the D minor area, and it'll sound good. So then we get into the part on the B string. He does another slide here. So he goes 8 to he goes to 11 on the B string. So he does that. He slides from 8 to 11 and then back. And then he goes down 6-5 again. So he does that. So I'm doing slide 8 to 11, back to 8, 6, 5, 6, 8, right? So he's doing that. And then we go into a sort of like D harmonic minor thing, where he takes the 7th of the scale and he raises it up. So instead of, you know, D minor. This part sounds like D harmonic, which is that note. So what we're going to do here is after that, do a hammer on pull off 5 to 6 on the B string. And then slide down to 3 on the B string. And then go down to 2. Right? So that's the harmonic type of minor sound. And then we do go up a string and just play those same frets. Do 3, 2, 3. So. And then just go up to the B string again and do 2, 3. And then go right into the, right, that goes into like the whole like the dual, the whole dual part. So hopefully I explained that well and in a way that's not convoluted as shit, because that part of the solo is the hardest part, honestly. But once you get that down, you get it up to speed, you just gotta throw yourself at it and it'll sound good. Just make sure to keep that energy. And if you can't do the legato correctly too, you can pick. You can toss some picks in there in order to keep that legato sound happening. Because we don't have Sinister Gates gear, so doing that properly straight to the recording of the song, it's gonna be very, very difficult. But anyways, yeah, hopefully that helped. Now let's move on to the dual guitar solo part. So we've made it past the legato mayhem that was the previous section. So let's get to the cool dual guitar solo part. So I'll be teaching you I think this is the lower harmony. This is what Sinister Gates plays. If you look at the recording of him playing it in the making of Afterlife, he plays it here. So he goes, so that's 5, 6, 13 on the B string. So we're going, and then after that, we come back down and we do, so we do 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. And then when we hit that 6, we slide up to the 15. And then we come back down and we do, then we go up to the 17th of the B string. Whole phrase so far. So when you come back down from the 15, go 6, 5, 6, and then go up to the 17. And then hit the 15 on the B string after that. So like, and then go back to the 17, so when you go to the 17 after hitting the 15, bring the 17 up a half step. So then we go up to the 18th. The 18th is the last note, and we bend that up. It seems like a half step, but really just take it and run fucking wild. Right? So yeah, now let's get into the sweeps, the very fun part of the solo. And the easiest part, let's be real. Alright, so we're really only using 2 arpeggios here. So in between these arpeggios, we have these chromatic shred runs. He's just playing them very quick, so make sure your alternate picking is down to a T, because that's all he's doing here. He's just alternate picking the shit out of these chromatic lines and then sweeping up and down. It's just happening really fast. It sounds sick. This part's awesome. So let's jump in. We're starting here on the 17th fret of the E string. So, and we're going backwards. So we're doing 17, 16, 15, 13, okay? And then we're going back up. So we do that, I think, 3 times, and the sweep is on the 4th. So the sweep is a D minor arpeggio, I believe. So the sweep itself, I'll tell you from the top. So from the A string, we're going 17, and then 15 on the D, and then 14 on the G, 15 on the B, and then 13 on the high E. So the first time we do that, we're going to sweep up and back down. So it's just that. So then when we come up, we're going to hit the 17th fret on the E. So make sure to hit that because he ends each sweep with a specific high note, and that's what gives each of these sweeps such a cool sound. It makes it sound so aggressive, right? It's really quick, but end it on the 17th fret of the high E. And then we go down to the 13 on the high E string. So we go. So I think he plays a note on the B string during this, but I'm not going to confuse you guys, and we'll just keep it as a chromatic run with just what we have here. And we're not going to move up to this 12, because it sounds like that 12 is in there somewhere, but it sounds like it only happens like once or twice, and it's confusing as all hell. So don't think about that now. So what we're going to do right now is 13 on the high E, 12, 11, 10, right? So we're doing same idea as before, going up and down. This happens 3 times, same as the other one. But the arpeggio that corresponds to this one is a B flat arpeggio. So it's 13 on the A, and then 12 on the D, and then 10 on the G, and then 11 on the B, and then 10 on the high E, and we end it on the 13 of the high E. So that's the one that he sweeps into. Right? That type of shit. So we're gonna end it there. So what we have now is okay, so those are the 2 like straightforward sweeps. So this next run is kind of like 2 sweeps, weirdly. It's one big sweep. It's one sweep motion. But we're going down these 2 arpeggios. We're going to go up the B flat one and then down the D one, all right? But the chromatic line that happens before this is up here. So we're doing 18 on the high E is where this one starts. And it's just 18, 17, 16, 15. Then we go back up. The exact same idea. We only do this twice, though. Only do this twice to give yourself time to go up this one and go down. At least that's the way it sounds. Maybe I'm counting that wrong, but it sounds like he does this shred shit much quicker here. So, but yeah, so let's talk about those sweeps real quick. So it's the same sweep as that last one. So we're talking about a B flat sweep here. So 13, 10 on the high E, and then 11, 10, 12, 13. Kind of sounds like the national anthem, almost. But then we slide up from the top of that sweep. So we're on the 13 here, right? The 13 of the A. We slide up to the 17 with your pinky, because you're gonna have to sweep back down, right? So then go down that one, go down the D arpeggio now. So if you want it again, it's 17, 15, 14, 15, 13. And then the ending note on this one is the 18 on the high E. So I can't emphasize how important it is to hit those last notes, because those are what really give the solo character. If they were just sweeps, it wouldn't sound nearly as cool. But he sweeps with such this aggressive vibe that it's just awesome, and those end notes really capitalize on that. So make sure to hit those. So those end notes, 17 on the high E, and then the second sweep is 13 on the high E, and then the last sweep is 18 on the high E. So you can hear them already now, how they create that very like epic vibe. So then let's talk about this last like weird shred run here. So every YouTube guitar solo cover of this, and even Sinister playing this live, they all play it random. This is all just random shit. So Sinister was definitely shredding the shit out of this here, and just kind of played whatever he could play. Because the part after this sounds like a different take. Like when the big shred part comes in, that shit, that sounds like he take that after. So he just wanted to end it in a cool ass way. So what it sounds like to me is we're going 18 on the high E, 17 on the high E, 15 on the high E, 13 on the high E, and we're going up and down. The same idea as those other shred sweeps. We're going. So he's doing like, sounds like he does this twice. He goes 18, 17, 15, 13, 15, 17, 18, 17, 15, 13. And then when he hits that 13, we're going to do like a small sweep. We're not going to do like a whole 5-string sweep. We're going to do a 3-string sweep. Same arpeggio. It's the D minor one. So we're doing, so think about this. So pull off 17 to 13. 15 on the B then, 14 on the G, and then back to 15 on the B, and then hammer 13, 17, slide to 22, which is a D note, slide to 22, and then back to the sweep, right? So we're going right back to the sweep. So it's like that. It's like a really quick, and then it sounds like he's running down this again, and he's doing like a sweep. So just sweep it again. So this sweep is, I'm sorry if this is confusing, but it's 14 on the G, 15 on the B, 13 on the high E, and then 17 on the high E. So it's just the smaller version of that D sweep that we've done during this solo now, like twice. But you play it once, you slide to the 22, slide back, pull off 15, 14, 15, then do like a trill, so like a 13 to 17 pull off, and then that's where the solo cuts off. That part that you take, it cuts off, and we go into that whole crazy shit. So yeah, but you can play that last part however you want. What matters is being in key, A, and B, having that speed, too. Because it sounds like at that part he does 2 of those big slides. So at the end of what I just taught you, you could add in, instead of doing that trill at the end, you could do you could just do that slide twice. Because that sounds like what he's doing. But it's a high slide. You really gotta jerk it. Like, that's just like you're flying. So, yeah. Hopefully that helped. Now let's get into the crazy fast alternate picking section, and let's do it. All right, let's get into the alternate picking shred shit. So this is working around the D minor pentatonic. That's where this whole thing starts out. So we're doing, so the way it's played is it sounds like he's doing, but what I've found makes it sound good is that the first time you play that shred run, do the hammer on. Do it just the first time, and then alternate pick all of the shit that happens after, right? So here are the frets. So we're doing hammer from 10 to 13, and then we pull off to 10 again, and then we move up to the 13 on the B. So it's like a very standard pentatonic hammer-on shit. It's everywhere. And then the second time we go, so it's a hammer-on pull-off from 10 to 15. So it's a bit of a stretch, but it's not Tornado of Souls tier shit. So it's manageable. But so do that, and then the rest of it, we're just gonna alternate pick really, really heavily. It's like that. So you're doing. So do the first few hammers, and then once you're done with that 13 on the B, you're just alternate picking, like pull-offs essentially. So like 10, 13, 10, 10, 10, 15, 10, 10, 10, that sort of thing. This is all happening on the high E. So we do that whole phrase twice, right? Then the second time he does it, we're doing same idea, hammer on, pull off, come up a string, but it's going from 13 to 15 to 15 on the B, right? So we're doing that. So it's like that type of thing. 13 hammer on, pull off 15 to 15 on the B, then 13 hammer on, pull off 17 to 15 on the B, right? and then you're doing the alternate picking shit. So he does hit, though. Just know that he does hit in the solo this note, I think. He hits that, like, alternate picking thing where you hit the same note, but on different strings. So in this instance, it would be 13 on the high E and, like, 17 on the B string. So you could do, like, I just think it sounds better to just alternate pick it, honestly. In this instance, you're only doing it once, though, because the last bar of this whole phrase is the crazy shred shit. So let's run it from the top. We're doing. So that ends that part, and then we're going to end this whole solo off. This is another one of those instances where every solo on YouTube, and even when he plays this live, he does this like differently a lot of the times, because this is again with my theory that this was one of those takes in the solo where he was just like, I'm gonna shred, I don't care what fucking frets there, I'm just gonna do it, and he just played whatever the hell he wanted to. So we're gonna try to tab this out in the best way possible. I don't have tabs for this section, actually, because I don't want you to contemplate that, because it gets crazy as hell. So just think about it almost like shapes. We have these 3-note per string shapes. So the first one is, so we're going 18, 17, 15 on the high E. So this comes right after here. Right, that comes right after that. 18, 17, 15, and then go up to the B string, play the same thing. He's playing it quick. He's doing like shred there. So 18, 17, 15, 18, 17, 15. And then we go up to the G and we do 17, 15, 14. Climb back up. 15, 17, slide to 19. So and then you pull off 17, 15, 14. Right? And then you go down to 14 on the G, 12, 10. So we do 14, 12, 10, 12, 14, slide to 17, slide back, 14, 12, 10, and then you do that fat high bend at the end. So that bend is going the 13 on the B string, and it's like a little bit of like a bluesy bend, very much Sinister Gates style. So you kind of like hit it and you hold it there and then you bring it up after. So hear that? So it's like a post bend type of thing. And then I don't have his rig, so that high whammy at the end, that's a harmonic, and it's the 7th on the B and the 7th on the E at the same time. And he just brings it up and does some nasty shit with it. I don't have a Floyd Rose system, so I'm not going to snap my strings showing that. But yeah, that's the whole part. Hopefully it makes some sense. I know this solo is a bit of just like an absolute riot, but if you throw yourself at it and you know around where you're going to be, just shred the rest, end on the right notes, and it'll sound sick. Trust me. All right, that's the whole thing. All right, guys. Well, this concludes today's lesson on Afterlife by Avenged Sevenfold. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I wanted to make a guitar solo tutorial that was more centered around knowing the shapes and the key, because I feel like that's more imperative to being a good guitar player than looking at the tabs and just practicing the notes over and over, because it's just easier to learn solos if you have a grasp on music theory and where the song is going, because every Avenged song is in the key of D minor or D harmonic minor, and he just throws chromatics in there, and that's what makes it sound so fucking cool. But yeah, have a good day. There'll be more solos on here at some point, so keep a lookout. And this is me signing off. Peace out, lads.